It's 6:07. When did you tell him to be here?
6.
God damn, like he's late every week. Like I'm so sick of this. He we set these guidelines like, show up at this time. We got a film to review.
I know.
He just doesn't show up. And this was the movie he picked too.
He did pick this one. He was really excited about this one for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. He just kept saying, "Guys, this is going to be a great episode." I don't know. He can't even show up on time for it. But.
Did you text him?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just send him something real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe you should call him. Did you try calling him?
Well, see, we're already like kind of on, so like I don't want to call him. I just got to see like where he is.
Yeah.
Michael, where are you?
Guys, I've been here the whole time.
Holy shit!
Guys, it's me. I'm right here.
Holy crap! Welcome back to Every Film in the Book. This week, we're actually joined by an invisible Michael.
It's not that spooky.
It's so spooky.
It can't be that spooky.
I'm Danielle. Are we saying our names? Is that what's happening? That's Steve.
I'm Steve. That's a guy. He's might be
invisible.
here.
Could be anyone.
Might not be.
Could be anyone.
Yeah, just put in your favorite star. That's who it is.
Paste him in here. Is anybody cooler than me?
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no. Wait, right now I'm talking to Chris Hemsworth. Hey, Chris Hemsworth, welcome to the show.
I can't do an impression of him.
That was worth a shot.
Right?
Well,
But yeah, how do you feel being invisible? Is it different?
I'm an invisible man. I'm going to sneak in your house and beat you up.
Well, all right.
That's all there is to it.
I feel like that's unfair, but no, any new sensations? Is eating different? Can you see it while you're eating?
No.
I think that's the question everyone at home is asking.
I don't think anybody asked that, but also you don't get hungry when you're in the suit, Steve.
You become incorporeal.
Yeah, incorporeal.
Yeah, so what's the bathroom sitch like as an invisible person?
Large diapers. Large diapers.
But it's just a floating diaper then?
Yeah, it's just a float. Can you imagine if this movie was 2 hours of a floating diaper walking through an insane asylum?
It could have been.
It should have been.
We didn't know what was happening at the start of the movie.
Oh my God. But
well, I mean, we have seen this before, so we knew a little bit this time.
But I guess we should say we watched The Invisible Man from 2020. This was the last movie Danielle and I saw in theaters before the world went to shit. And I don't remember liking it coming out of the theater, and I gotta be honest, I don't remember liking it now after watching it. Now that could be angering for some people because this movie has gotten great reviews. Everybody's singing its praises. I don't get it.
Yeah, I will say that I watched it with a different lens this time because I've seen it before and I kind of knew what it was.
Oh, was it the lens of not being able to see shit?
Yep. It was all darkness most of the movie. But
anyway.
if you look at it as more of a drama than a horror, then it's not as disappointing.
Yeah, you have to view it that way.
Yeah.
Or else
it's more about an abusive relationship than it is about being scared.
Yeah, but I feel like, all right, now in our last offering from this Halloween season, we were comparing it to a lot of other movies. Now I'm going to compare this one to Midsommar, since you're fitting the character of our May Queen this week. That movie told a story about an abusive, just almost non-existent relationship. It made it scary, and I could see the movie the whole time. So, I mean,
that was also about a crazy cult and
also a crazy
some
cult,
weird murdery things. But there wasn't. I don't know. There was murder in this film, but it was definitely not it's not a slasher, it's
Yeah.
not anywhere close to that realm.
But yeah, take us away, Mr. Invisible
Well-
Man here. What's your opinion?
Well, with the slasher point, I mean, some people get tossed around. Like, there's a
They
bunch
do.
of violence for sure,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like it crossed into the, okay, we can call this a slasher.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
wasn't really a body count. The only one that was legitimately killed was the sister.
Well, that's what I said. I said the lady killed more people than the
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
Not counting security guards, because
Right.
nobody counts those in movies. But
Well,
They're just dummies. They're not even
Yeah.
real. And half of them, you're just like, oh, he just punched him in the face. He's
Yeah.
probably fine.
they're making like $16.75 an hour. They're
Yeah,
like fucking.
whatever.
They're not real. No, but like, it's just one of those things where this movie loses all suspense once you realize there's an actual Invisible Man, and I get the point of or like the name of the movie is Invisible Man, so it's
Yes.
not out of the realm of possibility we're gonna see an invisible person in this movie.
Yeah.
But once he gets revealed, then all suspense goes out the window because it's not her trying to convince people anymore, because us as the viewing audience already knows the truth. So it's
Yeah.
like,
yeah, they broke that
yeah,
I
across.
was going to say, so if I remember correctly, in the trailer, they showed the scene where she throws paint on his face.
yeah.
That is the only, like, one of the only scenes where she does something like that. The other time it's a fire extinguisher. But they ruin, like, the best surprise of the movie in the
Right.
trailer.
Like if they would have saved that moment for the end of the movie, like the whole movie, these like her friends are gaslighting her family's gaslighting her, and there's no proof that this guy is actually invisible. If they show that scene at the end and that's like her like, holy fuck, I knew it,
yeah.
then it has some impact. But you show that, halfway through the movie, and now us as the viewing audience is like, okay, well, now we're just annoyed with every other character because obviously this is real.
And the one thing about that is they tell you, in the movie that he's manipulative and things like that.
Right.
Like they go and they show you that, but not enough for me to care.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like they explain it. It's just not explained very well.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
stopped buying into it, and
You
Yeah.
never see him until
Ever.
the end of the
Until
movie.
the end of the movie.
And you would think that they would do something more to show. I mean, not like I want to see someone getting abused by their boyfriend, but you think that they would show it a little instead of her being like, yeah, he like hit me amongst other things. And that's all she said about it.
and they don't ever show him anyways
Right.
Yeah.
up until the end. So I feel like that takes a little bit of. Well, I don't recognize him because I've never seen him before.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like I have no like hatred towards this character because I
Yeah.
just saw him.
I
I'm
didn't know who to expect.
I don't know who he is. Like
Yeah.
there's no proof of any of this. So I guess as the audience you're trying to gaslight the main character too. But like
Trying to gaslight the
Everybody
audience.
join in.
yeah, but I haven't seen the original Invisible Man in goddamn centuries.
Right.
But like, I feel like
Centuries.
that was just, it was a dude experimenting. Chemicals got mixed up. He turned invisible. The power went to his head and he started fucking with people.
That sounds like a better plot.
Like
than
that's
this. I haven't
easier
seen
to
that.
understand than some famed optician or whatever the fuck he was.
An optical
An optical specialist
engineer.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
somehow can
Pioneer
build
in the field.
Yeah.
just building a bunch of invisible suits in his
Well,
basement.
All they did was just modernize it. So you
Yeah.
can't just completely bash them for modernizing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can't, but I just maybe it's just the way the suit is designed is fucking stupid.
I
Like
do
Just a
like
bunch
how
of cameras.
I do like how little they explain that.
yeah,
Like
that's true.
I feel like it would have ruined it because in the original it's like there's some stuff spilled on. Oh no,
It's like, oh
he's
no,
invisible now.
chemicals
So
hurt.
it's like we probably should buy how this suit,
Right.
how he gets invisible.
Yeah, I kind of look at it as like in a Marvel universe, this would make sense. People build suits that do crazy things. But then
Yeah.
if you think about it in reality a little more, you're like, okay, it makes sense that people would be like, no, there's no way he does that. But also at the same time, don't you think he would have been working on similar technology at his job to like make any sort of connection between the two? I don't know. We're definitely gonna go through and probably
getting in the weeds there.
Yeah.
we're gonna go through and point out all these plot holes.
Right. But I will say this opening scene I thought was, I mean, we couldn't fucking see it, but I remember in the theaters this actually being impactful because everything is quiet. And when you're first introduced to our main character, you know, she's creeping around the house. She's obviously sneaking around trying to do something. She's turning off security cameras. She's doing this. And, you know, when she first kicks that dog bowl and, like, that's the first loud sound you hear in this opening scene, you're like, holy shit, okay, whoa. All right, slow down. What are we doing?
I got scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just another classic start the movie off too dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they break you out of it with a noise and lights. And
it's always better in theaters, and then they don't make it, you know, the proper contrast for a home TV.
And especially if you already watched it before, you're like, no, I'm allowed to see what was going on.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the movie before.
Yeah, I paid my ticket price. Can I watch
Right?
the movie
Let me see
now,
what's
please?
going on in there.
No, but you know, she's escaping from this house. She bumps a dog bowl. She has a dog booty bump a car and sets off the car alarm.
Yeah, apparently if you just like bump into a car gently.
Wow, they were really nice cars. Had really nice alarm systems.
Yeah, for rich
true.
people, their alarms go off if you sneeze near them.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
oof. When you pay that much money for a car.
And I feel like they're setting you up for her getting caught
Right.
Yeah.
by she has a struggle here. She has a struggle here. She has a
Right.
struggle here. She has trouble getting over the wall. She's running with a flashlight, and you can't see anything either.
Well, and not to mention the way the camera shots are done, it's almost like they set it up like a slasher movie or like one of these like ghost movies where it's like panning to show you an empty hallway, and you're like, well, what's in the hallway?
Right.
And then like nothing's in the hallway, but then it like the camera stays there as the next scene happens and she moves into the next room. So it's like they're pre-setting you up for like, well, there might be something in the background. You never know.
They do it a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we kind of looked for it this time, but we didn't see
Yeah,
anything
we didn't
that
see,
we weren't.
I mean, the movie was
directly
so
supposed
fucking
to.
dark. How are you supposed to
Right?
see anything?
Yeah, the only thing I thought I saw was when he's in the kitchen and he turns on the stove. And I was like, was there anything there? And then I'm like, no, I think I'm just making stuff up in my
Yeah.
mind to like picture something being there. Like,
Right.
That was
That's
gaslighting the
what
audience.
Yeah.
it's trying to do.
But yeah, so she escapes from this house. Like she gets into a car with her a friend we don't know, but I guess it's her sister that we find out later on.
Yeah.
And this dude comes running up and like punches his hand through the window, and he's like, "You're not leaving me, see?" And it's like, dude, that's desperate. You can't be
Right,
doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Breaking windows,
Like-
kidnapping in general.
Like if I broke a window, like say you were in your friend's car and I broke a window, I was like, "Babe, don't leave me." Are you more likely to stay or more likely to leave?
You're asking me seriously?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, so okay.
Entertainment purposes.
My problem with that
Yeah.
is like he knew that he had this technology in his back pocket. He was ready with it.
Right.
And yet he went for the desperation move. Don't you think he'd be sitting at home like, just you wait. You don't even
Right.
know what I got.
Yeah, like
coming."
let her leave without consequence and be
Right.
like, all right, that was too easy or
Right.
something.
Yeah. I don't know the desperation move from him, but
it was all part of his
it's a
plan.
mind game.
It was all part of the plan.
Yeah. He wanted her to think that she just barely got away.
Yeah.
Mm.
But in every great movie, we now have a time skip.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
Yep, couple weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And our main character, C, I forget her name.
Cecilia.
Cecilia.
I just
Yeah.
called her C.
They call her C, but then they call the younger girl Sid. So like every now and then you're like, wait, what?
It's like,
Who are
ah,
you talking
shit.
about?
Who are we yelling at again?
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's moved in with a friend, James, and his daughter. And we're kind of seeing signs of like her trauma. She doesn't want to go outside. She's very paranoid about people coming to visit her and all this stuff. Which, you know, I guess if you've been in that situation, it makes sense for the character.
They do a good job, I think, showing you how anxious she is.
Right.
And then
Well, I mean, she's a hell of an actor throughout this.
Yeah,
like,
I was
always
gonna
give
say-
that to
Oh, yeah.
her.
She is great at playing an insane person.
Yeah.
she did
she
really
really
good.
portrays it very well.
Yeah. But her sister comes to visit, who we saw in this opening scene, and you know, Cecilia's all paranoid, and she's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like Adrian, whatever his name is, Adrian knows where you live. He'll follow you. He'll find me. All this stuff, and she's like, "Well, you don't have to worry about that. Dude offed himself. It's fine. You're free now."
And she's skeptical immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't see like a rich and famous dude like offing himself out of the blue.
Well, it's not the rich and famous part. It's more of that he is a sociopath. Psychopath.
One of those.
He's a psychopath and a narcissist. And if you're a narcissist, the last thing you're going to do is kill yourself because you think of yourself higher than anyone else.
Right.
If I was not here.
Right. So if he's a narcissist, he wouldn't kill himself.
Right.
And she knew that. So I think that's why she was skeptical.
Like, if my optical illusions can't grace the world, what will the world be?
He just writes optical illusion books for a living.
Yeah. He's just a really famous magician. He's just really good at sleight of hand.
I thought you meant like those pictures that are like swirly lines and you can like see things.
That's how he made himself invisible. He just painted himself into the walls and he's like, "You'll never find me."
He's just a really good body painter.
They should have put one in there.
Yeah.
Like just a random guy just body painted to the wall. That would have been funny.
Just to fuck with you. He's just like, "Don't worry about it."
You gotta make that face though.
But she gets a...
so this is when the movie starts getting serious.
Yeah. So she gets a letter in the mail, and it basically brings her to this will reading. And Adrian's brother is the lawyer watching over his estate, and he's basically like guilt-tripping her into being like, "Well, my brother wouldn't have killed himself if you didn't leave, so this is kind of your fault."
And red flag, how did he get that address? They never explained it.
Also true. And he basically tells her, "Hey, Adrian left you $10 million. We're going to give you $100,000 every month. And just don't break the law and don't be a psycho." And
I wonder what's going to happen the rest of the film.
Yeah.
What are the two stipulations for losing the money?
Yeah.
Let's do them both.
It literally lays out the path ahead of you. It's just like, I wonder if she's going to go crazy and break the law.
And that's something I don't feel like you notice until you've already seen it once.
Yeah.
Like the first time I watched it, I was not as intelligent on what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and I think it was mostly because I was searching in the corners.
Yeah, like trying to fucking see something.
Yeah.
But she's like, she's very hesitant to take the money, and but it cuts to like the next scene, and she's basically surprising James's daughter with, "Hey, you can now go to fashion school. Here's $10,000 a month. Like, good luck. I mean, you're gonna need more than $10,000. It's fucking college."
Yeah, but it wasn't she like
$10,000 a month for a year?
I thought she was trying to go to a private high school or something, and she wasn't in college yet.
Yeah, she's trying to go to what did I call it? The Parsons Project. It's I mean, that's just a band or something, but it was Parsons.
Yeah, probably.
Parsons is some fashion school that she wants to get into. And
so she was college. She seemed
yeah, like that's like her dream school. She wants to go there, and Cecilia makes it happen by opening up this bank account for it. So like the story kind of takes like this happy turn. It's like, oh wow, maybe the guy is dead. Maybe he's trying to like do something nice for her.
But seasoned movie enthusiasts will know.
Seasoned Invisible Man talk show hosts,
right?
will tell you.
You might know something else is about to happen.
Yeah. But I mean, this was a part I remember in the theater, and it was a pretty cool scene. But again, the movie was too fucking dark on our screen that we couldn't see this. But she gets waken up in the middle of the night, and like she's like walking outside and like all this stuff, and like she's breathing. You can see her breath, and then you can see the breath of somebody behind her.
Yeah, I couldn't see that this time.
Yeah, no, you can't see it because the movie was too fucking dark.
It was really dark.
Yeah.
But I just remember that in theaters, and I'm like, oh, that was a cool, impactful scene. If only we could have, viewed that.
And it's not our TV because we turned up the brightness.
Right.
We tried.
Put it on vivid.
Yeah. And like, after the scene, like, she goes back to bed, and the scene kind of cuts to a dark room, and you just get like camera flashes. So it's like, all right, cool. Again, us as the viewing audience now knows there's somebody in the room. Like, there's no suspense to Invisible Man anymore because it's like, all right, cool, he's there.
Yeah, but they also name the movie Invisible Man.
Right.
So you got to cut it some slack here, Steve.
But I know, but I think my main point is like, if the whole movie is built on making the main character seem like she's crazy and all of her friends not believing her, you got to have the audience also kind of follow along with that. with like, yeah, some reasonable doubt, like, oh, maybe there's an invisible man. But like, if you straight up confirm, yes, the boyfriend is alive, yes, he's invisible, yes, he's fucking with her, then all disbelief goes out the window, and now I just know all the other characters are assholes, even though I know it's pretty unbelievable to be like, all right, sure, there's an invisible man.
Yeah.
I'd say they could have gone two ways with this. They either have her succeed in the end, and we have to watch people not believe her.
Yeah.
Or no one believes her and she gets killed. You know, like those
Yeah,
are your
that's-
two ways you
yeah.
could take this story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of times people will go with that option.
Yeah.
I can't name any movie specifically, but I feel like I've seen something like that, you know, where somebody's being gaslit into something that's not actually happening, and
Right.
they end up dying, and nobody ever finds out.
Right, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one, I don't know. If you look at it like you said it in the beginning, as a drama, like it's scary until it's not scary anymore,
Mm.
and then it's kind of cool for a bit, and then it just turns into an action film for a little while,
Yeah.
which I don't mind.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like, you know, it does take, like, Invisible Assassin is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
like, it
kinda
would have
neat.
been fun.
Mm.
But, like, it's like, you know, to touch on a different, like, Cobweb that we just did. Like, that was kind of cool. Like, you were able to suspend your disbelief. Like, oh, maybe the girl in the wall is actually just, like, a
Right.
daughter that they abused and they hang in the wall. Maybe the parents are crazy. And, like, you believe that up until you didn't. Until they showed you exactly, like, no, we fucked with you the whole time. Like, I feel like I could have used maybe a little more of that in this.
Right.
Where it was more like, yeah, whatever. Maybe she is crazy. Who fucking cares? Like, we'll find
Right.
out at the end of the movie if we need
But
to.
they would have had to, from the beginning, from the trailers, not shown you a single thing.
Right.
Right.
And really, really made you believe that there was absolutely nothing there and she was just insane.
Right.
I think they also showed you the scene where she's getting like pulled around.
Yeah, like the fight
Um,
scene in the kitchen
right.
that we're about to get to.
So
here.
like you couldn't have shown anything.
yeah.
You could only show like the opening scenes of a movie, which sometimes movies do.
Right.
And
Sometimes.
sometimes it works out really well. And you
Yeah.
can still make a cool trailer without giving everything away.
I just think maybe the theme of this episode is we should just get rid of trailers altogether and just go into movies blind.
Right. Trailers keep
True.
ruining
Yeah.
our movie experience.
But rolling right along here. She goes to a job interview, I guess for like an architecture firm. I guess she's an architect.
She had some building plans
Some
or
kind of
something.
like that. I'm sorry, it's so weird looking at an invisible person right now.
It's gotta be weird, I know.
I just see glasses. It's crazy.
But this was kind of, I know for me, the first time I watched this was like, okay, it's not just she's crazy to her friends and family.
Right.
This is like the first time in public that she kind of loses it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is kind of where you're like, no, this is going to be a big deal.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, I mean, even from the beginning, it's one of those things where you're like, have you not considered talking to anybody? Like, I don't know. This week's sponsored by BetterHelp. No, I'm joking. But like, you think, I don't know, you think she would try to figure out what's going on with her? Like, don't you
Yeah.
think you could feel yourself like slipping? I don't know.
I don't know, but she goes into this interview. The guys, like, I mean, maybe that's the point. Like, most of the guys outside of James are kind of shown as like scuzzy, almost like he almost like takes a pass at her, you know, in this job interview, and he's just like, oh, you studied in Paris, is that where all the beautiful architects go? And it's just like,
And she's
all
like,
right, dude, like, chill the fuck out. You're trying to hire an employee here. Like, don't get slapped with
Yeah,
the
you're not-
harassment already.
You're not on a first date, but
Like, Jesus Christ. But
I didn't think it was that bad.
all right, well, yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's not that bad. But
I don't know. Really? You thought
I
all
agree
the
with
other guys
Steve's
yeah,
points.
it kind of seemed like
were
scuzzy.
scuzzy?
And like even the brother, like the way he like talked to her and kind of like demeaned her a little bit. Like the only person who was
Yeah, you knew he was in on it though.
well, like you almost didn't, but like you did, but like you didn't, but like you did.
Okay.
But no, the only person who actually like showed her respect was like James. The only person who like talked to her on like a human level. Everyone
Yeah.
else like
even
kind of
her own
diminished
sister.
her. Yeah, like kind of diminished her to like a
Well,
like
she
an
sent her-
object.
She sent her that email.
Oh my god,
that
that
email.
email.
Scathing.
Well, yeah, because like so after that scene, she goes and meets with Adrian's brother, and is basically like, listen, dude, I know he's invisible. You know he's invisible. Tell him to stop.
And of course he's not going to say anything in
course
front of
right.
another person
Right.
too.
An
like,
outsider.
But like, just to, I guess, prove my point even more here, like even James is like, listen, she's my good friend and she has a problem. So obviously it's worth sitting here talking to you too. So shut the hell up and like listen to this girl.
Show her some respect.
Yeah.
And then she says some crazy shit, and
Yeah.
he goes,
He's like,
maybe
"That
I shouldn't have
That wasn't
said
what
that."
I was
He's
vouching
like,
for.
I thought she was going to say like, you know, something better. I didn't know this invisible shit was coming up. I'm so sorry. I'll meet you outside.
Yeah, you can see it in his face. He's kind of like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
That's how I would react.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I mean,
Michael,
like,
come with me. I have a problem. And then
I need you to back me up. All right, I got
Okay,
you
and then you-
100%.
Then you go and sound like an insane person. I'd be like, yo, Steve. Hey.
Whoa.
Oh.
yeah. But see, that's why I wish they played more into like actually making it seem like she's insane, because she's so good at it. And she's
Yeah.
so good at appearing manic and like calm at the same time. Like she's like tearing up, but she's just
Yeah, well,
Okay.
She had lots of practice.
yeah,
Yeah.
she believes herself fully. Like she's not second guessing herself
no.
at all. But then it's just like driving her more and more mad because she's literally, it's gaslighting the movie. Everybody's gaslighting her.
right. And like again, she just does such a good job at it. Like I just kind of wish they played more into letting her just seem psycho, because she's
Yeah, I mean,
fucking great.
She did most of the movie. That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, her screen
Yeah.
time for this film is nuts.
She was in every scene.
Yeah.
There wasn't a scene where she wasn't in it.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, she's just great. I can't state that enough. But she, after this meeting, she goes and visits her sister because she's like, hey, I really need to talk to you. I think this is actually happening. And the sister's like, yeah, whatever. You sent me an email. I know how you feel now. Like, you ain't shit. Get out of here.
Yeah, she's like, you need to get on medication and
Yeah, and that's what you want to say
get
to
a
a
hold of
crazy
yourself
person.
or something.
Well, maybe.
Well, I mean, when
Maybe. If it prevents you getting your throat cut in a restaurant, maybe.
well, I mean, when they actually show you what this email said, like, it's like fucking
Oh, it was bad.
Mean.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wanted
it
to
was
read
mean.
the whole thing, and they only showed me glimpses.
Right? Just a little bit of it.
yeah, it was like, I wish you died rather than Adrian. Like, you're suffocating me. You're a piece of shit. Like, your taxes are past due, and I'm gonna go tell somebody about it.
But really, this is all just coming from Adrian
Yeah.
being like, stop meddling in her life.
Yeah, it's like
He wanted her
I'm the
dead.
only one who can control her, and I'm
Yeah.
invisible, so I win. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's easier ways of going about it, especially if you're invisible.
Yeah. But they had to do, that setup in order to get to the restaurant scene.
Yeah.
They just kind of take us around. They're like, all right, she goes crazy in front of this person,
Yeah.
and this person, and this
Yeah.
person. Is that all the people we put in the movie earlier? All right. Everyone hates her now.
Yeah, and then it moves on to her friend and his daughter, and
Yeah, the fucking invisible dude cold cocks a fucking little girl. He
Yeah.
just straight jabs her in the face.
yeah,
Yep.
and the first time I saw that, I was like, wouldn't she immediately know, like, she's sitting 10 feet away from me, I'm over here, I just got punched and she's still there,
Yeah.
like, but if you look, she kind of like turns to like leave, and then he gets her, so she wasn't like making eye contact when she got clocked.
But
It,
like,
it wasn't too bad that you were like, nobody would ever believe it. But it was just
Yeah.
good enough to be like,
It
all
was
right, I can
quick.
see why. I can see why she thought it was her.
Yeah.
yeah,
And she gets kicked out of the house. Well, actually, she gets kicked in the house.
Yeah.
He's like,
He leaves her there.
yeah, he's like, James is like, yeah, you should probably go to your sister's because you really shouldn't be here right now.
My
And then
first priority.
leaves her in the house.
Yeah.
Like, why are you kicking her out? And then you guys are the ones leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
And
I think he was taking his daughter to a hotel or something. I don't know.
He
She was like, I can't stay here.
He does say my first priority is making sure my daughter's somewhere safe. And you're like,
Right.
all right, dude. It's like she got punched in the face once, like, and he kind of freaked out.
Chill.
He's like, whoa.
Just one
It's
face
like,
punch.
oh man, your psycho friend punched your kid. Like, this happens every week.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. But, once they leave the house, Cecilia's just like, listen, I know you're here, Adrian. Like, what is it about me that makes me so special? You could have had anybody. Why am I so, torturable, I guess? And she gets the idea to for some reason, call his cell phone. And we hear it like buzzing somewhere in the room. But then she realizes it's coming from the attic.
It has to be.
Yeah.
in the
Everything's
attic.
in the
Yeah,
attic.
yeah.
Yep.
Has to be.
And he didn't turn his phone on silent. Are you kidding me?
Why would you bring your phone in the first place to a murder crime?
Well-
It's almost like he did all of it on purpose, Steve.
Yeah, he's got to call his Uber to pick him up. Like, he can't be leaving his car parked somewhere.
But like
Walks 48 miles home in his invisible
Yeah.
suit. This kind of sucks. Yeah.
it's just one of those things where I'm like, how would he have the foresight to know she would be like, I'm gonna call his cell phone?
He knows her better than she knows herself, Steve.
Sure.
Yeah, that's an easy line
They-
of dialogue to write.
Yeah, but they say it, so it's like he planned everything. So putting a phone in the attic with the stuff he stole
but
from
it-
her isn't crazy.
But it almost just seems stupid. Because it's like you're trying to set this woman up to be crazy to get her back together with you. If you want her to be crazy, don't leave evidence for her. Just let her go crazy.
Well, she didn't do a whole lot with that evidence.
Yeah,
I will
also
say.
that.
I was yelling this throughout the entire movie. Does she not have a cell phone that she can take pictures of things with? Does she not document everything that happened to her? Like, when she found that up in the attic, take a picture of it. Like, she's going off of word of mouth. Like, she's expecting people to just believe what she says without anything physical. There were
Right.
so many points where I was like, right there, you could have had him. You could have taken that to the police if you just took a picture of it.
Right.
Like,
Well,
record
and
yourself.
she even has a couple of blood tests done that
Right.
show drugs in her system.
Right.
So
And then she could have taken that little container with the blood on it and be like, that blood is his.
Yeah, like that's not my blood.
That's not my blood. He gave that to me.
Yeah. But like I don't know. It just seems like there's too many like inconveniences or like conveniences that make this plot kind of work.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes. There's
Like,
a lot of little pinholes.
You think as the cop, like, you know, he's literally a cop. He could probably go up into that attic and be like, there's signs of somebody being like who's been staying here.
Right.
Obviously for a couple days.
yeah, but he wasn't there. He left. That's the like. Sure, if he was in the
all right.
room,
I
and
guess
then
that
he
makes
is in the
sense.
room later, and he gets his ass beat. So it wouldn't have done him any good to be there the first time.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
also the whole security footage thing. Like,
Yeah,
does no one
this
have
yeah, like
cameras?
there's no cameras in a restaurant where a knife is just floating there. You see it like swing across the table and then get planted in a girl's hand. Like there's no,
Nobody saw that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Well, nobody saw it because he's the
Overcritical.
Invisible Man. Yeah, you guys are being super critical of the Invisible Man.
well.
I'm sorry, Invisible Man.
Right?
I
I'm
didn't
sorry,
mean to
I didn't-
my
disrespect
feelings.
I don't
you.
mean to insult your film.
I'll make you go crazy, and then I'll have you kill all your friends.
Listen, well, I'll give this to you, Mr. Invisible Man. This
Yeah.
this scene with the sister in the restaurant
Hmm.
was
It's kinda wild.
without a doubt probably the best scene in this entire film.
And I don't think they ruined that one for us. if I
No,
remember
because that
correctly.
wasn't in the any preview or anything like
Right.
that. I don't even think you know she had a sister in the previews.
And
Probably.
yeah, and I like how slow the knife comes up. There's a
It
knife.
was
Yeah.
just floating behind her, and the sister's just staring at it. And she's like, "What? What's wrong?"
It's like I'm trying to apologize. What's going on?
But right before that happens, you do get a little moment where it seems like the sister is like kind of forgiving her, and they have like a nice little moment.
Yeah.
And she starts talking about the suit,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what triggers him to.
Yeah, to
Slice
cut
her
her
throat.
throat.
Yep.
But he probably could have let that go because there's no way the sister's gonna be like, really? He made us like
Yeah,
with like
like
cameras on
he
it.
could have just waited to see her reaction, because the sister probably would have been like, "Okay, yeah, I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
suit."
It's like I know you want to like torture the main character, but like you probably could have tortured her just by having her sister be like, "You really are fucking crazy! Like
Right.
invisible suit? Are you kidding me?"
But I mean, it's technology. You want to keep all for himself.
Yeah.
What's a few bodies along the way?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Coming from experience, since I'm the Invisible Man.
you are the Invisible Man.
Oh God, we have a
Um,
murderer on our hands.
Yeah, and I mean, now I don't want to ask you how you got like that because I don't want to be killed learning the secret. So I'll just let you be invisible.
Thank you. I
and,
appreciate that.
Be
Oh my
terrified
God,
of
can
you.
you imagine he just pulls a knife?
I wish I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, I should have had a knife. I could just,
just
float.
pull it up
Ugh.
over the table.
Hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from here,
After the restaurant scene,
Yeah.
full hospital lockdown.
oh my God, yeah, just full on psych reward.
And she,
Mm.
I think this was one of the best, like, she goes crazy
Mhm.
scenes. The kicking and screaming into that hospital
Yeah.
room is nuts.
Well, this is the one time I actually noticed something in the background where she's actually looking. You can see two little like light spots from
Yeah.
where the light's hitting his cameras,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, okay. And then like as he moved, like they kind of like
The
shifted throughout the
little
scene.
warble.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I think I
that's.
saw it too.
I was like, that's kind of cool. Do more of that,
Nope.
maybe.
Yeah.
Nope, you're gonna look for it for 15
Yeah,
minutes.
and it's like in some of these scenes where like the suspense is really up, just like a little glimmer
Yeah,
would have like made it.
you would think that there would be an ever so slight distortion around where like the edge of his body ends and where
Right.
the wall begins.
Not,
And, like-
not until they show you it fully power up for
Yeah,
the first
and, like-
time. Yeah, it's
And
that's kind of
and I think I think we may have skipped over that part, but she does find the suit,
Yeah.
right? And as she's walking up to it, as it's invisible, like you hear the cameras whirring and clicking and all this stuff. And with how close he is to people throughout these scenes,
you think they would
you
hear-
think they would hear that, like,
yeah. This is
Mm.
being too critical again.
Yeah.
sorry,
Too
sorry,
too
sorry.
critical again.
Yeah.
It
Also,
popped into my head. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
I know that he's like typically stalking in the shadows, but don't you think he would cast a shadow if he was in a room with light because he's still a person blocking light from
Right.
shining onto the floor? Just
See,
saying.
I mean,
Just
I guess I'm just not. I don't get how the suit works. I mean, Mr. Invisible Man, maybe show me.
Magic. It's called a green screen.
It's proprietary technology. You be
I
quiet.
mean, it's
Hang on,
cameras.
where's that knife?
It's like, who told you about technology?
Who told you about green screen
I'm
technology?
pretty sure it's all free.
But yeah, so she's in the psych ward after that. Her sister gets murdered, and she's talking to the cops. And she's since James is a cop, of course he's in the room with her. I feel like that's a conflict of interest.
Right.
He probably shouldn't be on the case.
Don't they usually say
It's
if
a
you're
movie.
related?
It's a movie.
But he basically almost like apologizes to her because he's like, I shouldn't have left you alone. I should have been there.
well, he feels some responsibility because he was like,
he thinks
oh,
that
crap.
she killed.
Yeah,
his
like
sister.
he fully has believed now that this girl that I'm good friends with that I would have went to bat for is now
she went cuckoo and killed her
she's a
sister.
cold-blooded killer.
And he did keep her punching his daughter to himself, or else he'd have brought it up in the room
that
or
probably
something.
would have made it worse.
Yeah.
But from here, she's being interviewed by a doctor and is like, "Hey, is your medication working?" Yes. Like, do you know you're pregnant? And she's like, "Wait, whoa. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, it probably happened in the last month." And like, I was like, that's kind of
Yeah, she has that like realization of
Yeah.
like,
oh my
holy
God.
shit, he impregnated me while invisible.
Yeah. Now,
The kind of, among other things he would do,
Yeah.
kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, she was pretty calm about it when they were talking earlier.
right. So this is another thing that kind of at this point when she realizes that he's in the room with her and all this stuff, she has the upper hand. Because if he wants the kid and she has it, she can threaten him with the kid, right?
Right. Well, she can use it as a bargaining chip. But
Right.
as you see in this next scene, the brother of Adrian kind of uses it as a bargaining chip with her. It's like, I can get you out of the mental hospital. I can make all this go away. All you have to do is have his kid. Like, we both know he's alive. I've been in on it the whole time.
Yeah, right? He admits everything, but
Yeah.
at that point, she can't do anything 'cause she'll just look crazy.
Right. And like, if it's I'm like, you're kind of like stuck. It's like, all right, do I just stay in the mental hospital and be stared at by an invisible dude all the time? Or do I just sign this paper, have his kid, and be in a terrible relationship my entire life?
Well, that's when my mind went to kill yourself. And that's exactly what she went to as well.
Yeah, she tries to commit penicide.
Well, I mean, he controlled her. He made all her decisions, and he had made a plan to make this happen. So now she starts making one of her own.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
But I think she also didn't intend to go through with
Oh,
it.
yeah, no, she never actually.
By the
just
way
had
that
to-
she reacted to it. Yeah.
It's like, well, what's the only way I can get him to come out?
Yeah.
if I'm trying to kill myself.
I'll be honest. Like her reaction after that, like she puts the pen in her arm and like starts moving it, and like the guy stops her, and she's just like, "I got you."
And then she starts
stabbing him. I was like, "Badass! All right, cool."
And okay, so she gets his suit a couple times, and it starts glitching, and then the scenes go on, and he somehow just fixes it, and he's invisible again, and it doesn't glitch anymore.
Well, he had a spare second to put in the extra cameras.
It's just like, a bulb change, like that's all it is.
And then like so when he's going through this actual hallway and he's kicking the shit out of all these security guards, I was like,
which is pretty cool.
It's a
pretty cool
by
the
scene,
way.
and all of the the stuntmen are actually selling it very well. Where like you believe that they're just being beat the hell out of and nobody's around.
Well, it's because there was a guy in a suit
beating the
crap out of him. Yeah. It's a painful job.
Yeah, no, it was. I thought it was a great scene,
but they just send them in like 2 at a time so that like he gets them both, and like nobody even has a moment to say like, "Hey, there's an invisible man killing us all. Watch out."
But we also said, are they sending 2 more?
Yeah. And then like 2 more.
2 more come?
2 more.
Okay. Have at it.
It's like he didn't shoot anyone yet. Oh no, wait, 2 more are coming in.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll probably get them this time.
I think it is kind of neat that they let us see them if that makes sense. And then, not enough time to tell anyone.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Like everybody that was in on it ended up dead or unconscious.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, he didn't kill everyone.
No,
some people he just like knocked out.
Yeah, he just kind of knocked people out. I think he maybe shot 1 or 2 of them, but like he didn't kill them all. And he walks out of the building into the rain, and like his suit, of course, is like glitching out in the rain. And he basically threatens her and is like, "Listen, now you're responsible for anything I do to your loved ones. Like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt everyone else you care about." So then she's like, "Holy shit, I got to call James. Like, he's definitely going for the daughter. Like, we got to get back to your house." So James is the first one to get there. And Mr. Invisible Man, he just put him through his paces, I think.
I was there waiting. I've been waiting for this moment. Now, it's kind of cool and it's kind of not cool because they make a point to let you know that James is beefed up.
Yeah.
He's not a small man.
No.
They
he's
show
a large,
him shirtless and
he's
in very
cut.
tight clothing.
Jacked.
Man was
jacked.
cut from stone.
Yeah.
And his police uniforms were strangely well tailored.
You could
I must say.
Bounce a quarter off that butt.
But he puts the boots to him pretty good.
Yeah. And then we're shown, like, because after Cecilia gets into the room and she gets the upper hand and ends up shooting the Invisible Man, we're shown that the brother was actually in the suit this time and not Adrian.
Right? How did he get the skills?
Yeah. And
Wow.
I don't think, like, because we're shown Adrian to be, like, the good fighter. He's taking all those people out in the hallway. But I don't see the brother being able to kick the shit out of James. Well, then again, he's invisible, so maybe I just poked holes in my own logic.
Or it could have been both of them.
Yeah, maybe it will.
In 2 suits.
That's true.
The double dip.
Come on, guys.
Well,
Come on. You think I only made
I
one
thought
suit?
the whole thing was that he had 2 suits.
Well, yeah. He definitely had at least 2 because she steals one.
And he's
and
wearing
then
the
he's
other
got
one.
the other one. But I think there has to be a 3rd suit that he put the
Probably.
brother in.
They don't ever tell us
How many
suits.
Well,
but
you're,
How many
you're literally
millions?
sitting right here,
I know,
Mr.
and you
Invisible
think
Man.
you
How
think
many suits do you have?
I only wrote down that I made 1 for tax purposes, Steve. Come on.
Well, all right. Just as an exclusive,
I
come
made
on.
17.
Okay.
Oh
All right.
God.
Thank you. Now it makes sense.
Wait, so what kind of engineering had to go into this to like make all these suits? How did he do this all himself in his free time?
He has a lot of free time.
Well, he owned a company that probably ran itself, so
Yeah, and then your girlfriend broke up with you. No more date nights. So
had all
you
that
got a lot
time
of time to yourself.
come up with this scheme and a few new suits.
Yeah. But yeah, so he beats the shit out of James. Elizabeth Moss shoots him, and we find out it's the brother. And we also find out in this scene that Adrian was apparently locked in a basement this entire time.
I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, and like I remember seeing that part in theaters and being like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, is he actually the asshole or is he not the asshole? I'm like, because I don't want to feel bad for him, but they immediately throw that out the window when she actually goes and meets with him and you realize, oh, he is the asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said
He's
earlier,
corksy.
they don't let you know what he looks like,
Right.
so you're not surprised to see him. So it kind of takes some of his sincerity away,
Right.
almost. And the brother, when he let her know that he was in on it, his tone definitely changes in the way he talks and the way he carries himself.
Yeah.
And I kind of recognized a little bit of that same thing when she's talking to Adrian.
Oh,
because-
100%.
Yeah, like he was doing it on purpose.
Yeah, he has that typical like cheesy fakeness to him when she first comes up to the door, and he is all like, "Oh my goodness, my hands are shaking just because I need you, babe," and
you're
like
the
all
only
that
one
stuff.
that's allowed to see my hands shake.
Yeah.
You're
Also,
like, cool.
I ordered 47 dishes from France.
Just
Would you
for
like to eat
you.
them?
So he starts with that where he's trying to play like the nice card, and then he just kind of like turns more and more, and the more that she's questioning him about
he's
everything.
going, did she buy it? No.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna be an asshole.
Yeah,
now.
then
Yeah.
he starts to turn, and then he I think he literally starts to turn his face down to look more scary too.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they were working together the whole time, which they were, he could have pulled this part of the plan off in a hurry because she did something that he didn't expect, which
Yeah.
was like fight back kind of
Yeah,
thing.
or like kill the brother.
So this was his makeshift kind of plan on one last ditch attempt.
One
Right.
last gaslight.
One last. Are you sure you know what you saw?
Yeah, but she gets the upper hand on him. She excuses herself from the table, and next thing you know, we see Adrian slit his own throat, and then she comes running back into the room like, "Oh my god," and calls the cops.
Plays the part. Oh yeah.
But
And
her-
she's like backing away from the camera.
yeah, but her kneeling, like kind of like crouching down and being like, "Surprise."
Well, that's how she knew it was him.
Right.
She's like, I just need you to tell me it was you the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's when he comes up to her. He's like, he does say surprise, and
Yeah.
she knows in that moment that
right. It's
because
him.
he knew James was out there. He knew they were
Yeah. And,
they were listening.
Yeah, and when she actually goes and talks to James, and he's like, what the hell did you do in there? And she's like, she's even playing up the thing like, no, he definitely killed himself.
Yep.
That's what you heard, though, right?
Right? Isn't that what you heard?
Right.
She's like, "What'd you hear?" And you can see it on his face where he's like, "I know what you did, but
it's like, I can't say that I'm proud of you.
Also, I kind of
However.
owe you one for
Right.
not believing in you and also getting
saving
beat up.
my life."
Yeah, but like, you also see that she stole the suit, like the suit's in her bag.
Yeah.
So it's like,
She should have left the suit.
it's like, are we gonna make Invisible Man 2? Invisible Lady?
Invisible Lady.
Maybe.
Invisible
kinda neat.
Moss?
I don't know what she'd do.
Yeah, I don't know what she would do. Like, she's not crazy. She's not
Yeah.
anything.
Seemed like an okay person.
Yeah, she's
I mean-
just trying to live her life.
I would sell that suit on the black market and make a lot of money.
Oh, I would become an invisible assassin for the government.
For the government.
They would
For the
hire me
government.
out. I would be their number one asset. They would buy me pizza every week.
They'd be like, "All right, show us what you got," and then you'd like turn invisible, and they're like, "Okay, but like, what else can you do?" And
It's
you'd be like, "That's
No,
it."
that's
I'm
it.
invisible. What more do you want? I could kill somebody and
I don't
they'd never
have.
know I was
I don't
there.
have any skills. I just am invisible.
Yeah, you're supposed to train me. It's the government. Come on, I've seen movies.
But I don't know.
You
It's a
don't
little-
know?
I just hate watching invisible men get shot. It's just not my thing.
It's just my
Yeah.
my fam. Yeah.
Your invisible father was shot.
yeah.
Triggering a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if only I had a lightsaber.
Could have saved my invisible father.
I think overall, just in general, to update the Invisible Man and bring it into the modern day, I think they did okay.
Right.
But I did want to mention this. Did anyone notice the music being like slightly out of place for the type of film?
I also noticed it being very loud.
It was very loud. A lot of strings.
And
Yeah.
it was kind of like, well, it's not a movie. Like, sure, there was a few moments, but it
there
wasn't
wasn't
that
the
kind of movie.
suspenseful
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird. The music in some places just didn't sound like it
Right.
matched up correctly. But even the fight sequence with Sydney
Mhm.
and Cecilia, and then James, and then all the security guards. So, like, each one, I think they did a really good job with however they made that look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was just a dude in a green screen suit.
It could have been, yeah.
I mean,
who knows?
We wouldn't know anything about
We
that.
should have looked it up before,
But like the way at least Elizabeth Moth is selling this, like you truly believe she's fighting an invisible person and she's struggling against something she can't see. Like, she's just swinging wildly. She's smashing plates in where she thinks he's gonna be. So it's like they did a great job at miming like her fighting, whether she was actually hitting something or not. So it might be cool to actually like look into the like behind the scenes
how they did it.
Yeah,
we should try to find that then.
Wow, if only we did research for a podcast.
Not before. It would have ruined the magic of it.
That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. I don't feel like
The
it.
Steve facts are off the table.
Right?
I'm done.
We didn't get any.
We put on costumes. We're not doing Steve facts.
No having fun at Halloween.
You know what? Happy Halloween. Knock this shit over.
I think it's another one of these slightly mislabeled.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Because we've said that before, but if they would just put it in the right category.
Yeah, this is definitely a drama.
Yeah.
It's definitely like maybe a scene or two of suspense, but outside of that opening scene, I don't get much suspense out of this.
The action was good, and I thought the blood didn't look, because some movies the blood looks a little weird.
Yeah, the fucking CGI blood.
Yeah,
like you're watching a Saw movie.
They did a good job with like the mechanics of the film.
Yeah, it was closer to an action film than a horror film.
Yeah.
They just put the right label on it.
Drama
They'd have
action.
been all right.
Draction.
It's an action drama.
Yeah. But no, I mean, again, like, I thought the acting was great on the main character's end. Like, I thought she did a great job. But, like, it's just the story around her just fell apart for me. And, like, I think I was maybe a little too harsh on it coming out of the theater, but after watching it again, I was like, all right, maybe I wasn't too far off
Maybe
base.
I wasn't harsh enough.
Wow.
No, I'm joking.
No, like...
I do think that watching it again and not assuming that it's going to be scary, I liked it better this time. Like, there were things to appreciate, and, the effects were really cool. There were a lot of plot holes, but if you look past all that, it was a fine movie.
I think
it wasn't terrible. Like, it's
I think
watchable.
They could have left that whole, like, I don't know, weird storyline out, and it would have been a cool movie.
Right.
Like, if it was just...
If they just changed the whole movie, it would have been a cool movie.
Look who's turning the tables now.
How you're the
one that nitpicked the whole
have-
thing, so I'm like, yeah, they could have just left a big chunk out, and it would have been different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Bringing the Invisible Man into the modern era, they modernized it. They did okay with it.
Right. And
just
like,
a different label on that.
Now,
where it goes, and it'd be fine.
You guys might not know this, but they were actually trying to set up a whole dark universe where it was going to be like a whole Marvel series, but with like Universal monsters. So like they did that Dracula Untold, and that was like kind of their first introduction. Then they were going to do the Invisible Man, and then like Johnny Depp was actually supposed to be the Invisible Man, and like there was going to be a Tom Cruise Wolfman, or he did the Mummy, and that kind of like fell down the wayside, and then this movie came out. So they were like, it's like they canceled their universe, but then continued making the movies.
Okay.
So it was like, it was just kind of like an interesting thing where it's like,
I don't think they needed a universe.
Yeah, they didn't need a universe. Like,
what, is this a Marvel film?
No. But like they.
Well, it makes sense. It's another company trying to do something successful.
Like after Marvel started making a universe, now everything had to be a universe. And like they signed up all these actors and they were ready to do it. And they did that Dracula movie. Then they did the Mummy movie. And then they were like, we're going to do Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man. But then the Mummy did so bad that they canned that entire series, but still came out with the Invisible Man.
I never understand why movie companies do this.
Right.
They all right, we're going to make 4 really cool movies. And then they get to movie number 2 and it doesn't do as well. So it must the creative on this one is the problem. Same for the rest of them.
It's like maybe it's because you put Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe in a movie and tried to make like a mummy movie with them. Like it was
just one thing that didn't work. They should have made the rest of the films.
Right. And I mean, maybe, it worked out, like, because, this Invisible Man was definitely more well received than, the Mummy movie. So, maybe they made the right call in letting Lee Winnell take the reins on the Invisible Man for this one. But, like...
Yeah, no, this seemed a lot more grounded in reality than like a supernatural universe.
I'm glad they didn't set this up and like there was a post-credit scene and it's like, I've come to talk to you. My name is Hyde, Mr. Hyde.
That would have been neat, but
I see you can be invisible. I have some skills of my own. Anyway.
Well, we watched a movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was spooky,
Yeah.
sort of.
Michael became invisible, and
Yeah. How are we going to get you back for next episode?
Yeah.
That's for me to worry about.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
We still have one more of these episodes left, so you're gonna need to be corporeal.
Are you like permanently invisible now, or?
If I focus really hard and set my will deeply to it, I can be seen once again.
All right. Well, if you guys at home believe hard enough, maybe we'll have Michael back.
And apologies to our listeners. You won't get the joke this whole time.
Yeah. Definitely check this one out on YouTube if you haven't yet.
Might work a tad better for the overall function of what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, a lot of these jokes are...
Yeah. Sorry. Thanks for watching, though.
But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time for one more spooky episode.
Spooky.
Well, maybe we'll actually get a spookier movie this time.
Let's do a spooky one.
Yeah.
Anyway, from all of us at Every Film in the Book, we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.